Okay, so back again, looking at reviews for PES 2016. Had to cut off the last episode because as I finished reading and turned around to look at the TV screen, I just saw that, you know, it was going to run out of time immediately. So yeah, that's why the last one got cut off so much. For this one, I'm not going to be looking at my laptop now. At least I don't think I am. And what I want to talk about is basically, you get the idea. The idea is, you know, that after all of this, I pull up Metacritic and I show you that much of the gaming press, not all of it, but much of it, lauded PES 2016. And I haven't read. I could be wrong. So I'm going to give you the freedom, you know, obviously, you know, tell me if I'm wrong. But I haven't found anywhere that tells me that PES 2016 is broken. I haven't found anywhere that says about issues where games are turning up broken, and including PES 2016. PES 2016 is broken. It is very broken. I mentioned the backdrop to this, and I figured I would need quite a bit of space to talk about what I wanted to talk about, because I didn't just want to talk about reviews and not give the evidence for it, and the evidence is on Metacritic. And what I wanted to get across by reading the captions, and it was probably boring. You probably thought, well, I can do this myself. But there are people who hopefully will stumble upon this who haven't done that, who haven't bothered clicking the link. And they don't know what, as humans, I don't know how you work, but I know how I work. And how I work is, in my world of my habits and what I do, I mentioned I read Game Central's Metro for reviews. I've done that for years, as I mentioned, from Teletext. It's kind of a habit. I used to buy games magazines, I don't now. I disagreed with some of the reviews in the games magazines and I wondered why I was buying them. And it's okay to have opinions. It's okay to have different opinions. And it's okay for reviewers to have different opinions. But when you are blatantly lying or not talking about the obvious, saying that PES 2016 is magnificent is just bullshit. It's a blatant lie. I don't need to prove that. My videos prove that. Anybody who's played it and who understands how it plays knows that. In fact, I actually believe that YouTubers who get paid cash for making PES 2016 and 2017 exciting know that PES is broken too. I actually believe that, because I don't believe that you can't play it and not understand that it's fucking broken. If you do, I want to know what you're drinking and can I have some, because it makes my life a lot happier.
Good running with the ball, and they build on it. Straight run, this is covered quite a distance.
I think there's a big problem when games reviewers don't talk about what a game is actually like, because they influence public. Humans are easily led. I don't know if any of you know about psychology and things. I know a little. I'm not an expert. I know a man who is. But I know enough, because my whole life has been damaged by manipulation of people. And that's not an understatement. That is it's a real issue, and I understand how humans are manipulated. I understand how easily they are manipulated. I understand that basically CBT techniques can be used in marketing, in religion, in education, in political means, to influence the direction of thought and action of human beings. And if you tell somebody something is good enough and you're in a position of responsibility, like for example throwing it out there, games reviews, you know that people can be influenced by the way you utilize words and describe things, and you know, these are marketing techniques, people. And if you don't believe me, I'm going to put yet again a link to event statuses video, which I said before and I will say it again. I believe this is essential viewing for gamers. It's essential viewing for human beings who wish to learn about the psychology of games reviews and the influence that has on cash generated by sales of that, you know, lauded video game at launch. And the launch window is the biggest generator for cash for a games company when their game is out. We've talked about digital. I've talked about, you know, the effects of digital. I read interestingly that Bethesda was, you know, having an embargo on its games for review, and it stated it wanted everybody to be able to enjoy their titles all at the same time or something. And yet YouTubers were coming out with stuff about Skyrim before the game was reviewed. Well, if you're skipping the review, what have you got to hide? And also, interesting to note, and it backs up what I've been saying about YouTubers being manipulated and used by the industry, but we knew they were anyway. And I shall state again that Microsoft paid YouTubers not to say anything unpleasant about the Xbox One, to be nice about the Xbox One after that launch. You remember? Yes. And YouTubers, you know, took the money, and Boogie talked about it. And I read it elsewhere. We know that YouTubers are manipulated by the industry. I watched, interestingly enough, a YouTuber who had a playthrough of The Order 1886, which was critically slammed. And he was saying, I don't think that this is a 4 out of 10 game. It doesn't play like a 4 out of 10 game, and he had lots of followers. Why might he be saying that? You know, maybe he believed it. Maybe he was influencing people who were watching that. You know, maybe it was one, maybe it was the other. But what we have to understand is that the gaming press isn't run by people who are honest. It's run by people who are making a living. And YouTubers in general, you know, terms are human beings too, huh? Some of us are just ordinary folk who don't like being ripped off. Others are YouTubers because they want to make money. I don't make money on my channel. I don't have adverts on my channel. I don't like adverts. I don't like people trying to make money on something that I'm doing for free. I have Share Factory and I have a share button. And previous to that, I'd been playing games for a number of years in my home without, you know, doing anything like this because I don't have the means to do it. I'd love to be able to do it. I'd love to be able to show, you know, a lot more consoles and a lot more games I've got in my collection because, you know, there's a lot of video games out there that I really enjoy. And video games have played a very important part in my life. And I would share that. And I don't see anything wrong in that. I don't want to get into a bed with any company. I don't want to, you know, arse-lick any company. I'm not interested in that. I'm just interested in the passion and love that I have for video games and talking about it. Because when people enjoy something, they want to share it. And equally, when people have been hurt by something and they've been ripped off by something, they want to warn others about it. But if you're making money, then, you know, maybe you've done it for self-gain. you know, because it's a capitalistic world and people like to make money.
Quarter of an hour into the second half.
Just throwing that out there.
Well, if you're chasing a game, there isn't an awful
But
lot
we're going
you
to
can
talk
do
about
without the
YouTubers in
ball.
more
They're
depth
not seeing
later.
enough of it,
But
and
we
it
have
needs
to
a
understand,
real
as I
team
was
effort
saying,
now
that the
to
gaming press is there to showcase games for the industry. The industry uses the gaming press, and the gaming press need the industry. If the industry said we're not going to release any games for review, the game sites would fold, would they not? But it's in the games industry interest to have game sites talk about their game and to hype them up, is it not? I've put the links to Zelda Informer's article before about, you know, reviewers accepting bribes and stuff like that. I'm going to put these things again. And as I said, I will put the link to Event Status's video again, which I describe as essential viewing. And you know, you can read these things, you can view these things. I'm sure there are other sources of information out there other than, you know, the few links that I've got to share, that, you know, that where people talk about such issues. But I can't understand how professionals who get paid don't talk about the brokenness of PES. In the backdrop video to this is the final of the playoffs, and I can tell you that my season, I didn't replay any matches, I played them all, but my season was riddled with cheating by the AI, and if you've seen my, you know, what I show on YouTube, you'll understand what that means. In this game against Middlesbrough, which was the final, and if you'll see my videos about how I play football, you'll understand that generally I like to make my substitutions around the 65th minute, because I find that with the fatigue on my players, I need to. And I got to a stage in this match where I couldn't get the ball, and the computer wouldn't put the ball out of play for me to make substitutions. If it needs substitutions on, it will bastardize and manipulate my passes or stop something to go out of play so it can get its substitutions on, and then it won't throw the ball back to me, and it will do it on purpose. At no point did I have that switch. You can't do anything in a game if you can't get the ball, and when you're tackling the ball, getting the ball and having it for less than a second, there's something wrong. But it can turn that mode off or on, but I can't get my team to play like that. That's just one aspect of the brokenness of PES. What did that review say? You could, you know, something about, you know, dictating the tempo of a game. No, I couldn't. It was just one-sided, and anyway, I've spoken about PES enough before. Reviews. And reviewers, you know, are human beings. Some don't like the industry. Some couldn't cope with it, and some got out. I can tell you that now. Others find ways to carry on. I can say that now. But yeah, the one needs the other. The industry needs review sites, and review sites need the industry. I just find it stark that nobody mentioned the cheating and the brokenness. We can see it now in hindsight. I wonder what they'd say. Would they change their opinion? Furthermore, would they be allowed? I'm going to continue talking about, you know, the industry and YouTubers and stuff, but till next time, take care.